Beneath a Romanian mountain, a door opens into a chamber the size of a cathedral. Along its curved walls, giant stone consoles wired with living light. Touch one and the air blooms into three-dimensional knowledge. Biology, history, even DNA permutations rendered in real time. Tonight we're not debating, we're going in. This is the drip system. If you've heard rumors of a hall of records under the Bucegi things, this is the walkthrough you wanted. The room layout, the tech, and what the joint Romanian-US team allegedly did once they got inside. Chapter 1. The Threshold. Entry begins in a rock-cut gallery that leads to a sealed barrier. An energy shield arcing like a transparent dome up to roughly 10 meters, terminating where the mountain wall begins. Past that, a stone face rises 10 to 12 meters high, cut with 3 tunnel mouths. One straight ahead, 2 symmetrically flanking it, lit by a cool greenish glow. Access to these tunnels forbidden by the first protocol. Security wasn't medieval. At the return checkpoint, iris scan, palm and finger geometry, multi-factor authentication used to cancel the system for group transits through the gallery. This was a clean interface between us and it. Chapter 2. The Room of Giants. The main chamber curves like a hollowed arc. Along both the right and left walls stand 10 massive stone tables, 5 per side, each over 2 meters tall, sized for operators much larger than us. Uniform-like inscriptions and geometric signs, triangles and circles run along the thickness of each console. The symbols don't need paint. They fluoresce on their own, color shifting from table to table. Below each console, white translucent cables snake down to silver, unscuffable boxes anchored in the floor. Light pulses travel inside those lines, like data moving through nerve fibers. Chapter 3. How the tables work. Approach any table and it wakes. A hologram forms, towering, crisp, nearly 2.5 meters high. The projections auto-run, but change according to your touch on the console surface. Up close, the tabletop is sheathed in a dark glass-like film, divided into large squares like an interactive grid. From a narrow central slit, a coherent beam launches the projection. At one console, the subject is biology. Brush a square and the hologram rotates a living system in space. Plants, animals, some unfamiliar. Touch another square and your own body appears, down to unique marks on your skin. Then zoom into organ systems based on your fingertips' position. It's a diagnostic mixed with a cosmological database. Now the part that rewires your brain. Tap 2 squares at once. The system analyzes both beings' DNA, runs compatibility predictions, and on a side column of that luminous script, spits out an expected hybrid. Visualized as an organism assembled from both datasets. Not a rendering for show, but an instrument for design. Insane. Chapter 4. The Central Podium. In the middle rises a step podium. 5 steps up to a shielded, circular half-cylinder booth, packed with delicate components. Think of it as an operator's capsule. Transparent walls, intricate internals. The team didn't just look at the room. They interfaced with it from here. This is where the scale of the library hits you, vast enough to occupy numerous research teams for years. One witness says, it wasn't a museum, it was a working archive you could ask questions with your hands. Chapter 5. The History Engine. One console in particular behaves like a planetary time lens. Follow the projection from its first frame to last, and the system highlights epochs by precessional years. Plato's great year, roughly 26,000 Earth years per cycle. Using the sky's background shift, the team dated the installation's origin at roughly 50 to 55,000 years, because the gallery and the hall themselves appear in the projection, fixed against ancient constellations. Expecting a crazy cradle to now timeline, they instead got curated slices. The evolution of multiple races and cultures up to around the 5th century CE. That suggests either operators who lived across unimaginable spans or someone periodically updated the database, the last time near late antiquity. Chapter 6. The 3 tunnels. Everyone asks about the exits. At the far wall, 3 enormous galleries, one forward, 2 to the sides, glowing faint green. The destinations are the stuff of late-night maps and whispered briefings. The inner earth, Egypt. In the first phase, access was denied. The story implies later explorations, but this initial tour ends at the threshold. Chapter 7. A day in the hall. So what do you actually do down there? Imagine 8 operators, 5 Romanians, 3 Americans, working in shifts. 2 soldiers guard the tunnels, 2 officers oversee the room. The protocols are simple. Don't run elaborate designs without permission, document everything, collect samples. Dust, thin orange-black, was lifted from 2 unused consoles and sent for analysis. Here's a typical session. Calibrate the iris palm checkpoint, power up the biology console, lock an organism, test cross-compatibility, record the hybrid output with glyph columns, then move to the history engine and note precessional markers. It's not treasure hunting. It's library science for a civilization that thought in light. Chapter 8. What this place is. Call it a cathedral of knowledge. Giant-scale consoles, biometric interfaces, living light cabling, and holograms that answer back. A planetary archive you don't read, you navigate. If it's a myth with an operating system. If it's real, we're guests in someone else's lab. If you've worked these claims from the inside, documents, coordinates, survey logs, send them to this email address, please. And remember, you are not crazy. You are awake. This is the Drip System. Thank you for watching. Bye.